today I am going to chat with you all about my current monthly expenses. My name is Monica Denias and I'm a therapist and mindset coach for ambitious women and women entrepreneurs. I own my own business. I have a solo practice as a therapist and I also do coaching. I am going to put sections in this video. The categories that I'm going to share is marketing, general admin, therapy specific, delegating, coaching, and then I'll give you the total. So let's dive in. I did not include my yearly expenses to this one. If you want me to do a separate video on my yearly expenses, that money is usually set aside and it's not typically on my monthly expenses. So for the marketing category, this is what I use to market my business. And the first thing that I invested in is the Showit platform, which is where I host my website. I actually purchased a template to do my website, and that was actually a one-time expense. But for Showit and hosting my website is a total of $39. The next thing that I use is Flowdesk, which is a email marketing platform. This is how I make my newsletter emails. So if you're not part of the But First Coffee newsletter, make sure that you subscribe to my emails. That's where I share all of the upcoming videos. I love Flowdesk because it's so easy to use and aesthetically pleasing, and that is $19 a month. And I do have a discount code below. So anything that I have a discount code, I will put it in the description. That I use for marketing. That's kind of general marketing stuff. Then for general admin, I have G Suite, or I don't know if it's Google Workplace now. I have 2 accounts and that is a total of $24. I have one for personal brand and coaching clients, and I have another one for therapy. I keep them separate. I like to keep those 2 businesses as separate as I possibly can. For other general admin stuff that just helps the flow of my business is this web app called Leave Me Alone, and that is $16. This is to clean out junk emails or unsubscribing from things. I also like that I can delay emails on my day off so I won't be tempted to look. I also love to make roll-ups of my favorite newsletters I'm subscribed to. So basically a roll-up is you pick a specific day, pick all the different emails newsletters that you love to read, and then it'll send it all rolled up all together in one day. So I love that because again, it doesn't distract me from my day-to-day stuff. So yeah, so the app is called Leave Me Alone and it's $16. Then for delegating, the very first thing when I started my business is I knew that I wanted to get to a point where I at least contracted out. I don't have an employee, but I have contracted out and outsourced some things. And these are 2 items that I've outsourced. So the very first one that I delegate, that I spend for delegating, is my virtual assistant, and I pay her $525 a month for 15 hours of support. If it's one thing that I did splurge on is delegating, because that was my #1 goal as soon as I started seeing a surplus of income. Now, when you're hiring a VA, this could vary. You could get from $300 a month to $1,000 a month. It really just depends on your VA packages, what you want them to do for you. So keep that in mind. I don't think that amount that I said is what every VA charges. Also, my VA probably doesn't even charge that anymore because I've been with her since 2021. Her rates might have already increased or increasing for 2023. So just keep that in mind. But that is definitely something where most of my money goes to, which is delegating, and that's how I was able to start this YouTube channel. The next thing that I delegate is bookkeeping, because I don't like taxes and I'm not an expert. I like to invest on things that I'm not an expert in. At the beginning of my business, the very first thing that I got, and that was a bookkeeper, and I pay $165 a month to have my bookkeeping. I really enjoy my bookkeepers. I feel like they really understand the sides of my business. I also found them because they've worked with other therapists as well, and they've also worked with coaches. So yeah, $165, and I'll link them down below. That is all for the delegating category. So for my coaching business. I have specific expenses for my coaching business, and one of those is Zoom. I pay $15 for Zoom, and this is for non-therapy related meetings such as coaching calls, podcast interviews, things like that. And then I use Calendly, which is $16, and this is to schedule non-therapy related podcast interviews, network. Sometimes I will do my consultation calls. I'll have people scheduled through Calendly. Consultation calls are just this free call that I get to have with potential clients. But yeah, that is $16 for Calendly. And my next expense in the coaching category is HoneyBook, and I pay $9 a month. And that is used for coaching clients, for brand contracts. All of this is a hub for all of my questionnaires, communication with my coaching clients. So very separate from my therapy business, and that is $9 for HoneyBook. And then for YouTube and podcast expenses, so I do have a podcast, and that's how I actually started creating content. I started with a podcast, and right now the podcast is not in season, like we're not posting new episodes, but if we were, I would have a podcast editor. I didn't include any podcast editing expenses because I haven't had any, but as far as YouTube and podcast expenses, I do currently spend $15 on Epidemic Sounds, and that is for YouTube video music. And then Libsyn, which is my podcasting hosting site. This is where I host my podcast currently. I'm not prioritizing, so I've lowered the monthly subscription, and that is only $5 a month for Libsyn. For therapy specific expenses, I use Simple Practice to have my client portal, to have my case notes, my billing, all of that all at once, all of the wonderful documentation. It makes it so much easier for my clients to just have a portal where they can see everything, where they can chat with me, all of that. And I pay $105 a month for that, but it pays off. I use it every single day. Another thing that I use for my therapy business is Spruce Health. This is how I keep my personal phone number and my business phone number separate. And one of the features that I love is that I'm able to schedule text messages. I also have autoresponders for non-working hours. This ensures that my clients know when I'm working, when I'm available, when they can call. Even if I have like my autoresponder, I do check in at least once a day in case of an emergency, because my clients know when, how to contact me in case of a crisis. I pay for Spruce Health $24. And I think it's incredible because you don't have to have two separate phones. I would not want to have two separate phones. I would forget the other phone. So I really just use my own phone, and it is just an app where I can text clients from a different number, and I can schedule text too. So if a client texted me, at night, and they texted me at night for whatever reason, and I saw it, I can text them and schedule it for the next day. So this keeps my boundaries. This just keeps a good balance between personal and business phone life. The next thing, which is also kind of a marketing platform, is Psychology Today. I pay $30 for Psychology Today. This is a directory where you can put your profile in as a therapist to potentially drive leads to your business. And I typically get 1 to 3 clients a month from Psychology Today, so it pays for itself. It's effortless. Like once you do your profile, it's there, and you don't have to continue to edit it, even though I do edit at least every quarter if I have made any changes on who I'm seeing, all of that stuff. The next therapy specific subscription that I have is called Note Designer. It is specifically to help make the note making process a lot easier and smoother. I really enjoy it because you could do customized phrases. They already have some phrases there to help you create case notes easier, and it's only $16 a month, and you could add your own phrases. It makes my time more efficient, and I'm able to get case notes in, because I know that that's something that therapists are always like, I have so many case notes that I have to write. I never spend more than 5 minutes to 10 minutes on case notes. I feel like I do case notes really well. And my clients always say, wow, I can't believe you remembered something that I said like like 5 months ago, and that's because I write really good case notes and I'm able to review them before a session. And then I spend on my therapy business is my office rent, and I pay $283. I rent out a space 2 days out of the week to see my in-person clients. What I love about the space that I use is called therapy space. They have other available buildings in different cities and states, so definitely check them out. I'll link them down below. But what I love about them is if you're someone who's just starting off and you don't want to have like that huge overhead, meaning you don't want to have all these big expenses for your business, then this is definitely where you can save, and you don't have to pay for like the electricity, for any of the internet. All of that is included in that $283, and you're able to network with other therapists who also have their practice there. You only have to use it on those days where you paid for your time there. I still don't know if I'm going to move my practice to completely online because I just love being able to see my clients. But that is it. So the total amount for what I spend in a month on my businesses is $1,306.24. When I first started my business, I had a lot more expenses than $1,306 a month. I thought I had to spend so much money on coaches and courses and all these things, and I realized that who's gonna take me to the next level is myself, and I get to be frugal about what is actually really important. I also read Profit First, which really helped me get to the bare bones of what I need. So some of these things, like I could even eliminate some of these things if there was a time where I needed to, because they're not as necessary. But these are all the things that I love to invest money on because they make my business so much easier. Comment down below, are you struggling with business expenses? What are some expenses that maybe shocked you in this video? And if you like for me to talk more about the ins and outs of my business, maybe more business related content, then make sure that you hit the thumbs up button and consider subscribing to the channel. I hope to see you in my next video.